Palm Springs Walk of Stars is now in its 18th year of honoring worthy individuals, and we'd like to thank the Mayor, Stephen Punier, and the entire City Council for their continued support of this wonderful program. Today, we're dedicating the 325th star on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars. Today, we're honoring Sir Alfred J. DiMora. Al, we thought perhaps the car had broken down.
I was waiting for the drivers.
Alfred's career and achievements certainly meet the criteria for a star. At this time, our first speaker co-starred in many movies and television shows, such as The Wild Bunch, American Graffiti, and Dynasty. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Bo Hopkins.
How are you, darling? The old days.
The sparrow. The sparrow jacket.
I didn't know what time this funeral started. I'm supposed to say a few words about Al, but a few is too much. So I've known Al about 3 hours. And what a man. He's changed my life, and in 3 hours, that's pretty damn good. No, all kidding aside, he and Yvonne came into my life, and hell, I was kind of enjoying retirement. I didn't have to memorize anymore. Now, God damn it, they want to put me to work again. Actually, I got a 14-year-old son, so I'm going to have to. And then Ernie's on me about quit smoking, and then Yvonne's on me about drinking. No, not to quit. Come down here so she can drink, because Al don't drink. I guess Will Rogers was and Ernest Morgan and our like. I don't think, and Al, well, Ernie never met a man he didn't like, except Al. Al and Yvonne is writing my life story. It's just one page. And Al and Ernie and I are going to be working on Ernie and Bo's Wild Bunch Bar and Grill in Nashville. I'm reading a script with Billy Bob Thornton, who will get the best part, but that's okay. And so they've got me rejuvenated, and I thank them for that. Al said he saw American Graffiti when he was a kid. He said American Graffiti was a big inspiration in his life. And I said, what about my other movie, Debbie Does Dallas? But I went to Canada with him, and I met Steve Plunkett, who's one of the nicest people I ever met. And what a show he puts on up there. And Al and Yvonne took me, and American Graffiti, I think Steve's going to have in London, Ontario, American Graffiti reunion. 2 nights ago, they had the 40th anniversary of the Wild Bunch, which was my first movie, and that's how long me and Ernie have known each other. So when I've met a lot of great, beautiful people with Al, and he knows Al never met a deal he didn't like. And he is teaching me the business side, and Yvonne's writing a book. I think Al is like a brother. I can't say father because it sounds too old, but he's teaching me a lot about life, really. I don't think people realize what he has done in his life, and there'll be other people up here to tell you about it. I don't know if many of you have seen that commercial about the guy that says, I don't usually drink beer, but when I do, most interesting man in the world, and Al is definitely that in my life. He and Yvonne, and I love him, and Yvonne, I try to get down here so Yvonne can drink about every 6 months. So, without any further ado, I love you, Al. I'm proud of you, and this is a great honor. I don't know why it looks like a funeral, but anyway, I think the city of Palm Springs should be very honored to have you here, and thank you very much. There's a lot of, I know Ernie's sitting over there, going like that. Al, I love you, man, and I'm so proud to have you as my friend, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Bo Hopkins. Our next speaker is the Academy Award-winning actor of Marty, starred in The Wild Bunch and McHale's Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ernest Borgnine.
Thank you. Pardon my back. Oh, before I forget, DiMora.
Higher, higher. Higher, higher. Take it off.
Higher, higher. Is that what they said?
Higher, higher. Bo Hopkins has a way of saying things that are like funny, you know? I'm not as funny. But I will say one thing, that it's a doggone good thing that the people over here at Palm Springs put their heads together and decided to give this man a star, walk on the Walk of Fame. Since I first met him, we've had a very warm and relationship. And I must say that he's worthy of everything that you possibly want in giving a man a star on the Walk of Fame. He's not only known for his automobiles that he builds, he's a genius when it comes to building them also on the computers. If you could see what I saw, and believe me, what you can see right here is his workmanship. It's beautiful. And he's an Italian. This is where it comes from. This is where it comes from, the heart. And that's why I say you couldn't ask for a better man on this Walk of Fame. He's also an entrepreneur. I guess that's what you call him. A man who gives of himself, not only for his friends, but for people that deserve it, like Marine Corps, the people in the Marine Corps. And he's helped all kinds of along in life that really means something. That's why, you know, it's hard to pick out these people to say, hey, let's give him a walk. I've got one somewhere along the line here somewhere, but I don't dare talk about it because I'm not worthy of it. Really. No, please, I'm not looking for plaudits. But here's a man who's worth it. And I love you, Al. Believe me. And Yvonne is a lovely lady. And I've met so many wonderful friends of his. Yeah, Yvonne, go ahead. You're welcome. It's a joy for me, really, at 92 to say, hey, man, I'm living all over again. There you are. Thank you, Al, for inviting me down. I'm glad to say these few little words for you, and I hope to goodness that it reigns forever on your. I say reign, R-E-I-G-N. Okay? Love you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Ernest Borgnine. Our next speaker is the co-star of the long-running TV series Chips, an award-winning producer of Lassie and Chips. He describes Alfred DiMora as artistic, elegant, perfectionist, and philanthropist, the kind of person in life that sincerely deserves a star. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Larry Wilcox.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, and congratulations to Al DiMora, for everything that he's accomplished. More importantly, to all of you, and of course to the city of Palm Springs, congratulations for something as dear and to my heart, which are the Medal of Honor winners, and you're giving stars to all the people that deserve something like that. And God bless our veterans who are in Afghanistan and Iraq today. You know, when we started Chips back in the middle 70s, now I have gray-haired people telling me when I was this little I used to watch you on Chips. I forget how long it's been, but when they asked me who we would like to star in a television series, they said they wanted, you know, an Italian-looking guy with olive skin and green eyes and good-looking, and I thought, wow. That's Al DiMora. We ought to get that guy Al DiMora. Instead, they got Eric Estrada. So who knows? So you never know what's going to happen in life. I was lucky enough to work with Bo Hopkins in a movie called The Last Ride of the Dalton Gang, where I played Emma Dalton, and
did it well.
Thank you.
Yes.
And he played. He was as funny off screen as he was on screen, and then I was lucky enough to do the Dirty Dozen 2 with Ernie in London with Andrew McLaughlin as the director, and we had a great time on that. Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to do that with you, by the way. That was a great show. You know, Al's an interesting man. You go through life and you get merit badges for different things that you do, and as you get older, merit badges really don't mean that much. I mean, you start looking at the things you accomplished and you ask yourself, what does that really mean? Not too much. What it really means is, did you perpetuate a better offspring if you had children? And is that person better than you? And number two is, did you make more deposits than you withdrew? And deposits in terms of mankind, in terms of giving to your soul and your heart, being a philanthropist like Al has been, contributing with all of his entrepreneurial activities. And let's address his entrepreneurial activities for just a second, because I think it's important, if any of you have an opportunity to engage with Al and to interface with Al, you should take the time to try to pick his brain. Here's a few examples, if you will. Al's a kind of enigma, if you will, that is a combination of a macro-vision thinker and a micro-vision thinker, and those two are usually paradoxical. They don't work together. But he thinks big. You know, $100 million deal is not a big deal to him. $1 million deal is okay. He thinks in terms of small micro-thinking, in terms of analysis and all of the methodics that are applicable to building a car, and all of the engineering that's involved in every single detail that he enjoys undertaking. So that's an interesting individual that you're taking the time to put a star out today. And so he's gone from things that I love to say, it makes you sound like you're an intelligent person when you say these words, a reconfigurable architecture and fuel programmable gate arrays, which is really a soft chip that he's used for everything from protein folding to NASA applications to the United States Air Force to cancer research. I mean, those are very intricate works. And number two is he's gone from not chips on the Kawasaki, but his own motorcycles, his cars, of course, Claney, and now, of course, the Natalia. So you have a name like Al DiMora, artistic in itself, Sir Al DiMora. You have the Clinet, an artistic piece of itself, and of course now you have the elegant Natalia, the car that he's now bringing forth to the world. So on behalf of Al and his beautiful wife, I'd like to say congratulations. God bless him, and God bless the city of Palm Springs.
Thank you, Larry Wilcox. Our next speaker is a true legend in custom automotive design. I know of two great cars that he did, the Batmobile and the Pokemon, and the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the king of the customizers, Mr. George Barris.
Wow, wow, what an experience. Look at all these people. Al, I never knew you knew so many people. Every time you come to Los Angeles, you got 2 or 3 people, and that's about it. But, of course, Al and I go back to a few years. Most of you weren't even born yet. But we're going to celebrate our 40th birthday next year, right, Al? So we'll make it along pretty good. I told him I was going to bring the Batmobile down, but Adam went and said, no, I want it this weekend. I thought I was going to bring the Monster-mobile down. But Al doesn't look like one of those monsters, so I said, that wouldn't work. Here comes the monkeys. Well, he's not a monkey, so I didn't bring the monkey-mobile. But it's such a long ways down here. I said, Al, I'm not going to waste a lot of gas to come down here. So I brought my little hybrid. And Tony drove for me. He's our driver. And we got 1 2/10 of a gallon in the car, and we made it for you. So it was worth it, very much so. But Al, you guys really don't understand Al. He's a car guy. And we enjoy being with him because of the cars he's done. But I enjoy being with him mostly because of Yvonne. She's the one. He's the one that does it. Not because she's gorgeous, she's wonderful, but she makes it happen. Every time we went anywhere, all over Canada, overseas, Sweden, anywhere you want to name, Big Al is there. I could go on and on for days and days to talk about it because we go back to a lot of history. But like I say, when we cross our 40th birthday, we'll be back down here in Palm Springs, and we'll put on our bikinis, and we'll show you that we are 40 years old. So thank you all for having me, and see you in the movie very soon again.
Thank you, George.
That's George.
Our next speaker is an author and lecturer. He has a book out titled The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. He also has an internationally syndicated radio show called The Edge. It's syndicated to 7 million people. He's known Alfred DiMora his entire life. Please welcome his brother, Frank DiMora.
Well, what I like to do is give you the personal side of Al, that I was there to see his dream come true. I don't know, everybody's calling him Sir, but he really was knighted, so that was a great honor. He was also, if you don't know, Ronald Reagan chose, of all the cars that you could pick, he chose the Clinet as being the centennial car, which was a fantastic honor for a young man, the youngest man who made Forbes magazine. And this was such an honor. And for his brother to see this stuff happen to him, it just was joy to my heart. What you need to know about Al is the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth is part of my ministry. And I love the Lord and I love Al. And Al was a big part of my ministry. At the age of 3 years old was the first time that I was ever exposed to actually say I needed to go to Jesus to pray for him. Because I came home from school when Alfred was 3 years old and came to find out that he was sitting on my mother's lap. And he had put a cord, a vacuum cleaner cord, and stuck that cord in his mouth and burned his tongue off. And when I got home and saw my brother sitting there with no tongue and ointment, and I started to cry. And excuse me, because when I go back and think about these things, it was the first time I looked up to heaven and I said, Jesus, please help my brother. Well, what had happened, they took him they said he'd never be able to talk again. Well, obviously, people, you heard my brother talk. The Lord grew his tongue back. And people said, did you really pray for your brother and things could happen like that? And believe me, if you believe, like the dream that he has, I believed and I sought God at that time. He grew his tongue back. And not only did he grow his tongue back, he prospered my brother. Now at the age of 10 years old, he was playing with these cars. The little, I don't even know what you call them. They were little cars on a car track. And all of a sudden there was a glimpse of time that stopped when I was talking to Al. And he looked at me, and it was like we were taken out of time. And he said, do you see this car? And I said, yes. He said, someday I am going to build my own car at the age of 10 years old. I took that photograph, and if you go to his website, DiMoraMotorCar.com, that photograph is on the website today where he told me that he was going to build his own car. Obviously, look what the cars that he built. What you don't know is Alfred's heart that I saw. When Alfred went back to high school, when they knew that Alfred was coming in, they were making trips going all over America, and he'd stopped at Gates China High School. Alfred took the time to go into the classrooms, to talk to the people, to talk to the kids in those schools. And one of the many, I don't have time to tell you how many kids he's affected, but one of the kids, the teacher came up to him and said, Al, would you please take time with this kid? He's on drugs. He's going in the wrong direction. Alfred did more than just take time with him. He waited for school to get out. He met the teacher, put him in the Clinet car, and he drove him around the city one-on-one and started to talk to this young man who was on drugs and on his way to hell. And Alfred said, look it, this is my life. This is what happened to me. If you have a dream, there is nothing that you can't conquer. This kid today is a doctor because of what Al did. He also, when he left Gates Charlie, and all the kids were so overwhelmed by his generosity and time to just sit in those classes and talk and ask the questions. And he told the kids, when I leave here, if you write me, I promise you that I will take time and write you back. And when I mean write you back, I'm not talking about emailing you. I'm talking about handwritten letters to each one of these kids so that they would know that this man took the time to spend, and because he sees you as people, as important parts of his life. Al, when you look, if you had the ability to see from Al's eyes into your heart, you would understand that Al just isn't an entrepreneur. He is a man that is a man who wants to know and love you. And so Al took the time to write every one of these people. When I go back to Gates China, they say, well, you're Al's brother. You're Al's brother. Well, how do you know? Because he wrote me. Well, I just found out that the teacher accumulated all the letters that were written to Al and just gave them to Al. Every single one of those letters that he wrote. And now I hope to God that they put that into the book because it's going to be a big part of Alfred's life. Now, Alfred also, when he sees people's needs, he doesn't say much. But there was a family here in California that was 3 kids, and he knew that the father really couldn't do anything for these kids very much for Christmas. And I know that if you were able to see Al's heart, you would have seen it cry and bleed. But that Christmas day, I was fortunate enough to see the acts of his heart. When he pulled up with 3 other people in 2 cars and unloaded more gifts than you see at the toy store on this family, they wept and could not believe what he did. As a matter of fact, after he left, I heard the kids say, 2 of the kids say, I think I'd like to go live with Al. They understood. No, he definitely is. He is definitely a giver. Al, you got the right colors, but there should be more red with the white on the side, and grow a beard, because that's how I see it as Santa Claus. Really. Also, you have to understand this guy's mind was 10 when I took him from New York, and we came all the way across when he was 17 years old with no direction. The first job was at a gas station, and a man pulled up in a car. His name was Alain Clanet. So Al got a job working for this man, and so Al's mind was like a computer, and he remembered everything that he was taught. And about 6 to 7 months later, Alain fell into some major problems and closed the company. My brother turned around to me there wasn't much time after that, and he said, "Frank, I am going to take the company over." Now, Al, you have to understand here, Al is walking, he comes up to me, he's got a leather jacket on with a white shirt, and he's only about 19 years old, and he said, I asked him, "Where you going?" He says, "I'm going to go to Los Angeles. I am going to sit on the corner. I'm going to stand on the corner, and I'm going to talk to people about my dream until somebody listens to what I say, and I am going to get those people, and I'm going to build my car." He came back, I don't know how long ago, it was in the evening or whatever, and he said, "Frank, I got somebody who listened to me. I'm going to sit down with him." He ended up sitting down and giving him $2 million to start the company. Now, how much, I mean, I wouldn't go out to the street and say, "Hey, I'm Al DiMora with a leather jacket and give you $2 million. But so that's how he started this car, and obviously he's got the motorcycles and everything else. But we've had some major problems in our family. My dad ended up with dementia, Parkinson's, and so my father was a big part of his life. And I went to visit my father. I went to take care of him for 21 days. My father didn't recognize me. And for 21 days, I kept praying and praying, "Lord, I want my dad to recognize me." And Al's been, somehow, we're connected, and God answers prayers through my brother. And so on the 21st day, Al got there. And Alfred walks into the hospital room, and my dad gets up and he said, "Al, what took you so long?" He knew him just like that. Then he turned around and he said, "By the way, who is that guy?" The next day, my heart, I said, "Oh, at least he's recognizing somebody." The next day, one of my dad's best hunting buddies came in and told me, he says, "Frank, guess what?" He said, "I went to visit your father, and he was so happy that he saw you yesterday." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, I guess he was with Al, and after you left," he said, "Well, did you know that Frank came?" And I went back the next day when I heard that, and from then on, he recognized me. Something sparked in his heart enough to generate those dead cells, to bring it back to life so that he could remember me. And those precious times in my heart that I wanted to know my father before he left to go upward, I knew that Alfred had a connection. He also took people, and I'm almost done here. Alfred took my brother Jimmy, or my brother John, who couldn't sell anything. He was in trouble. His marriage went to hell, and he just didn't know what to do. And my brother said, "Come with me. I am going to give you a job." So Alfred took him in, and he brought all his tools. He was a master tool and diamond. And he went into the back of the room, and Alfred walked back in this huge plant, and he said, "What are you doing back here?" And he says, "Well, I'm going to go to work." He says, "You're not going to work as a tool and die. I'm going to teach you how to sell." Well, let me tell you something to make a long story short. Alfred taught him everything that he knew about selling. He put him in one of those cars, and he started to drive all over the country. John was fumbling. He wouldn't know what to say, but he stuck with him, and he showed him how to do it. Today, my brother's worth about $20 million. He is #1 real estate agent of all of Michigan and all of Ohio, or northern Ohio. #1 in real estate for 8-10 years in a row because of what my brother took the time to help him out. That wasn't good enough. My other brother, Jimmy, who was on the road of surfing, he had no direction. He took him into a company that was called White Tigers, and showed him how to interact and how to work with business. And so when my brother retired, we figured, well, John's going to give me the job. And I said, no, my ministry is in heaven, not on this earth. And so I told Al, I went to Al and I said, Al, work with Jimmy like you work with him. And so Al fired him, my brother. And everybody said, what's wrong with Al? Why did he fire Jimmy? And I asked Al, and Al said to me, some things in life need to be learned, and the only way that somebody is going to be able to do something is to make them do it, to understand that when they go out and do it. He fired him, and Jimmy went to Michigan and to work for my brother John. And now that my brother John had learned everything from my brother Al, my brother John now taught everything to my brother Jimmy. And right now, my brother Jimmy is running that same business in Michigan, and he is number one and has been number one for the last 5 years. This man, everything that he touches turns to gold. And the reason why it turns to gold, touch him. Yeah. The reason why people get blessed is because he may not understand the connection that he has above, but believe me, folks, he really does have a connection above. And when you look at him, when you speak to him, you'll understand that connection like I understand the connection. I was up this morning at 5:30 this morning praying for Al, and the Lord said, call your mom and ask your mom, Mom, what were you going to say? I know you want to be here, but you're sick, you can't come. What would you say? And she said, tell Al, thank you for everything that you've ever done for me, helping me in every single way. And he said, tell Al, thank you for washing all those dishes, because one of the best things that he wanted to do is helping his mom is that he moved the chair up, and every night he wanted to wash the dishes so she wouldn't have to wash the dishes. Al, today, and I'm going to conclude with this. Today they're going to give you a star in the ground. The star is really in my heart. God bless you for who you are. I love you, Al.
Our next speaker is a longtime friend. He comes from the automotive industry, and also I understand a lot of people are dying to see him. He's an undertaker as well. Please welcome Mr. Buck Camphausen.
I feel a little overdone by all of these luminaries, but I will tell you that I've known Al probably longer than anybody. He says I'm his oldest friend, but I think the two guys sitting next to you are older than I am. I met Al through the Clenay cars. I bought one, and then I saw there was a club, and he had the club. And matter of fact, the car across the street, the second one over there in front of George's, that car was out here in '84 when Al put on quite a unique run with the cars, the Clenays out here. And this is the first time it's been back, Al. But we had quite a unique experience there. And I was with Al when helped him take over. I was one of those people that came on board with him when the new Clenay company was started. And matter of fact, Al and I went to Texas to buy a car from a guy that was going broke, a cowboy down in El Paso, and we were going to get a deal. Well, we got the deal. The car cost more than probably it was worth. The guy had more money than anybody. He had a big meat packing company. He took us to a boxing fight, took us to a bar. After we got out of the bar, he drove his $150,000 pickup truck right through a field full of rocks and cactus and everything else. When we got down to the end of the road, I asked him how many times that Clenay had been down that road or through that field. He said, oh, every other night. So I've had a lot of unique experiences with Al on those kind of things, but Al came in and we were cleaning up antifreeze, and we had developed, and Al redesigned the whole mechanical end of that facility. We actually were able to take old antifreeze, clean it up, and it was used in matter of fact, we were the first to build the product 50-50, where it was 50% water, 50% glycol, and that is now the standard of the industry today. We also built drill fluid for all the gold mines out there in Nevada. So it was an interesting adventure. And then that was the time that Al ran into the computer company. He introduced me to the genius that started that, kind of a very unique situation with the fastest computer in the world. And so I was involved with that with Al. And then I've been with Al on a lot of other things, but all of the things are true. And of course, one of the biggest, brightest spot has been Yvonne. And she's a great cook too. Although the other day I had cereal and Al was trying to cook eggs. But it's been fun, and everything that these guys have said is true. And Al, you deserve this. It's an honor to be here, and I'm sure that the city of Palm Springs is going to probably prosper because of this. They'll have to put a stoplight here. So, but anyway, I hope everybody has fun. It's been fun being here with you, Al. It's always fun being around you. You're an inspiration to a lot of folks, and it was fun listening to all these folks that have done a lot of other things in their lives and made a tribute to you. It's I certainly both. This is my type of deal. These tents and ground burials. So thanks a lot, and Al, it's all yours.
Our next speaker is often credited as the real-life inspiration of the sports agent from the film, Jerry Maguire. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Lee Steinberg.
Thank you. I think this looks a lot more like a wedding than a funeral, actually. Well, I'm real happy to be here. Normally on a Sunday I'm at a football game somewhere, so it took Al DiMora and Yvonne to get me out of a stadium, but I couldn't be more thrilled than to be here in Palm Springs, which is sort of like a second home for those of us who love the sun and the desert and this awesome community. I've known Al for a number of years. I consider him a dear friend. If you think about Italians, you think about the Renaissance, and you think about someone like Leonardo. And the impact and the effect that Al is having today on our economy, which is struggling, is really profound. Because he is an inventor, an innovator, a technologist, an engineer, an entrepreneur, and his creative genius is what's going to save our economy, allow us to compete internationally, and the innovations that he's coming up with and has come up with throughout his life will spread into every area in exactly the same way that the space program in NASA spread all throughout American industry in ways that we can't possibly imagine. He's so creative, he's so innovative, so forward-looking, and this new car that he's doing is a platform for technology that for the very first time is going to make American industry competitive again, and will start selling things and innovating things that the world wants to buy and put us back on the cutting edge. You don't find that particular blend of qualities in one human being. Someone who can see what's not there. Someone who can light candles instead of cursing the darkness. Someone who's got those old American values of hard work, imagination, believing that optimism can still work. But that's Al DiMora. If you spend a little time around him, you believe, you have faith again that this country works, that we can all be together and make it. He fills you and imbues you with enthusiasm for the future, makes you believe that you can be a better person, and you are a better person just for being around him and knowing him. He inspires the imagination. He's endlessly brilliant and a genius in so many different ways. again, a Leonardo in terms of his impact and what it will do for the economy when he finally sets up this platform which spins off in so many different areas. It's an automobile, but it's so much more. It's actually a platform to stimulate 15 different industries, 15 different innovations. It will break through with scientific discoveries that will change the whole future of the country and the world. So you couldn't pick a better, more profound innovator, inventor, a Thomas Edison, and he's right here in Palm Springs. In Palm Springs, Palm Springs will be known for a lot of different things, for a lot of celebrities, for a lot of golf tournaments, for date shakes, for great culture, but one day it's going to be known for the fact that Al DiMora lived here. Thank you.
Our next speaker is someone who knows Alfred DiMora very well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Al's lovely wife, Ms. Yvonne DiMora.
Wow, how am I supposed to follow that? You guys are incredible.
Just stand here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. I'm used to that. I'm not talking, but standing. I just wanted to thank everybody that came to speak for Al. You guys are incredible. I just love all of you. And I just wanted to tell you, Al, I'm so proud of you. You deserve this star. And now I can walk all over you. I'm just joking. You know I'd never do that. I'll just kiss the ground that you walk on. Al's amazing. I mean, I've never seen anybody with a dream that could follow his dream the way he does. It's like, I don't know if you guys have read The Secret, but he just chooses to go do it, and he does it. And it's just like, well, what makes you think you can do that? Because I can. That's his, his belief, his dream. So he's always been able to, accomplish anything that he's tried to do. And I'm just amazed by it. And I just wanted to, I want to cry. I just want to thank you, Lee, for being a father, a good father to my kids. And my son is in Afghanistan right now. And I just wanted to hope that everybody will pray for his safety and his platoon and all of the soldiers that are fighting over there. They're fighting for our freedom so that we can build cars, so we can do whatever we need to do in this country to make it great again. And I just wanted to thank you, honey. And I love you very much.
Thank you, Yvonne DiMora. Our next presenter is a gentleman who has a very special gift for you, Alfred. His name is Lynn Nordman, an artist. Lynn?
Yeah, Al, thank you very much for inviting me here. I really appreciate that. And I tell you, from all the beautiful things that have been said here and all the love that's shown for Al, there's just no question. If anybody ever deserved a star there, it's Al that deserves it. I think you all know about the new vehicle that Al's working on, and it's the most incredible car that has ever been seen probably anywhere in the world, a $2 million car. And what I did for Al, because of his kindness and everything, I did a painting of the brand new Natalia car that Al is going to be producing. So I'd like to present that to Al.
At this time, I would like to introduce the lovely lady that actually nominated Alfred DiMora to our board of directors, and she will present and read a proclamation from the city of Palm Springs. Please welcome Miss Janie Hughes.
you know, these lovely people that we're presenting today, Al and Yvonne, to be in their home is to be in an atmosphere of love and creativity, and it's so serene. And this person, Al, with all of his genius, the reason he is a genius is he did not let the child inside of him die. Because as children, we know that we can do anything. We don't stop to even think that we can't. So, Al, remain a child and always feel that way and make us feel that way. And always inspire those people around us. And Yvonne, the beautiful, serene, lovely, heartfelt person that she is, I mean, what a lovely thing. So, yes, for Al to say, I can do anything, and he can inspire us. And for you guys, just think like he did. I'll ask the most beautiful woman in the world to be my wife, and bingo. You see? He got it. So, let's be like Al, DiMora. I'm going to read this because actually this proclamation, that's one of the great things that our city does, one of many, is they support very strongly what we do to recognize all of the people in our community that we should recognize. And Al is one of those people that has brought international recognition to this wonderful oasis. And Al, we're so happy, and the city's so happy, and they spend a lot of time thinking of how will we make known and how will we record these people that we cherish, that are part of our community and have inspired us and have done so much. So I'm going to read. A lot of people don't like all the whereas, wherein, thereafter, but you know, I do, because this is from their heart. I happen to like it. Susan, hush. Susan's going to get her turn. I mean, the board knows Al. This distinguished board here, when I brought the paperwork and said, okay, Al finally says he's going to take the star. Well, of course, everybody knows Al. And Susan Stafford has her own story about Al. Anyway, I'm going to read them, Susan. Whereas there shall be a special dedication ceremony on the sidewalk in the city of Palm Springs at 538 North Palm Canyon Drive on Sunday, November the 15th, 2009 at 11:30 a.m., honoring Sir Alfred J. DiMora with the 325th Golden Palm Star. And whereas, in conjunction with the ceremony, the citizens of Palm Springs will pay tribute to Alfred J. DiMora, whose illustrious career has added significantly to the world prominence of this beautiful desert oasis. And whereas Alfred J. DiMora was fascinated by cars from the age of 10, working at a service station in his early teens, he rebuilt a burned-out 1939 Buick before he was old enough to drive. Working in a co-op program, he earned his machinist degree and became a certified welder. And whereas Alfred J. DiMora's passion for automobiles led him to award-winning design and manufacturing of luxury cars such as Cline, Scepter, and currently the Natalie SLS2. The classic designs and lines of these motor cars reflect his artistic passion for beauty. Alfred is also introducing green, groundbreaking technologies that will change the way automobiles are manufactured. And whereas entrepreneur and business consultant Alfred J. DiMora has advised and built companies in industries as diverse as chemical recycling, public relations, management, software development, television infomercial production, and real estate development. And whereas Alfred J. DiMora is recognized for his outstanding contributions to humanitarian efforts, both locally and internationally. His efforts have been geared toward the fight against breast cancer and other serious diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's disease, and also to support injured Marines. His contributions range from fundraising to creating unique ways of using digital media and the new online social networks to increase awareness of these organizations. Now, therefore, the city of Palm Springs, California, by the power vested in the mayor, Steve Pugnier, 325th star goes to Alfred J. DiMora, now and forever. And we do love you. You actually get a copy of this to hang amongst all these other things in your home. And a star, a little bitty star. Here you go, baby. We were all partying last night. One of his things last night, Desert Art, everybody was there, the party. He's one of the sponsors. Alfred was a sponsor, so we were all partying last night at the Dennis Lambert with Natalie Cole and the Commodores and the Brick House and everything.
Our next presentation is by a former accountant of Columbia Pictures and a Palm Springs Walk of Stars director. Please welcome Luis De Silva.
On behalf of the County of Riverside Board of Supervisors, a certificate of outstanding work in and out of automobiles. Maybe I should rephrase that. Congratulations.
Our next presentation is by a lady that was the first co-host of Wheel of Fortune for 7 years on network television. Please welcome Dr. Susan Stafford.
Let's see.
Where does it begin?
We got a lot going on here today, don't we? Well, firstly, George Barris, you can get out of the sun if you wish. You don't have to stay. You love the sun. Okay. Larry, good to see you. Lee, thank you so much. Bo, you're still a pistol. And Ernie, when you said 92, they all said 92. And Brother Frank, I don't have to go to church now. And to you, Al, the sweetheart that you truly are. And Yvonne, and you, sweetheart, you're just sitting there taking it all in, aren't you? Well, let me tell you, I'll do the first part of this, and I'll tell you a little story. Short, okay? Succinct, all right? Okay. This is from the governor, yeah. It's California State Senate, actually. And it's for Sir Alfred J. DiMora, who I met in 1986 with the man that I was in love with and still am, Dan Enright. And Danny had purchased a Clinet from this man named Al DiMora. And he talked about Al like he was a treasure. And I didn't know Al DiMora, and I got to meet him in 1987. And Al, the only reason that I sold the Clinet is because every time I drove it, men, would follow me home. I mean, you could pick up anyone in that car. It was amazing. I don't care if you're at synagogue or church, they followed you home. Anyway, in recognition of honor for your outstanding contribution to the automobile industry, through your award-winning designs and manufacturing of the Clinet, Jeannie,
Yes,
I want to personally thank you for giving so much love to Dan Enright and giving us the ability to own your car. And I think it was 163. Do you remember? Okay, Jenny. God bless you. And go ahead and.
She said she was going to get emotional and so forth and could not talk about these other things. So it does say Scepter and Natalie. It's just Natalie, darling.
Okay.
I know we're so blonde, but you can say that.
Oh,
okay. We come as bookends. We do this act all the time. Get the award now, sugar.
Thank you, honey. In acknowledgement of your commitment to eliminating many diseases, which is true, and your dedication to supporting the injured Marines, which is major, and in appreciation of your numerous humanitarian contributions, the Palm Springs Walk of Stars, truly thank you for giving all of this. And please let it be known that your son is in prayer. And we thank you so very much, Al, for being who you are and what you are becoming.
Thank you, Susan Stafford. Our next presenter is a former Marlboro man and an actor, and he is the producer of a brand new event which should draw thousands of people to Palm Springs, the Palm Springs Wild West Fest. Please welcome Mr. Bill Beck.
Okay, Leonardo. I'm going to use that one on you for a while. That's good. So, Al, we go back a little ways in Yvonne to mostly Christmas parties, Thanksgiving, birthday parties, and so on and so forth. And so we got to know each other in the last few years and had a good time. But anyway, so I get a call from Mary Bono, and she says, I can't reach Al. I says, well, yeah, he's always on the phone. How could you do that? She says, well, that's the problem. I said, I can't get through on the phone. She said, what can you do for me? I said, I send it down to me. I'll take care of this for you. So this comes from Mary Bono Mack, Certificate of Special Congressional Congratulations, presented to Sir Alfred de DiMora in honor of the 325th Golden Palm Star on the Palm Springs Walk of Star, November 15th. Mary Bono Mack. So you got it, kid.
Okay, so we're going to come that way in a minute.
And now, Alfred, for a final gift from the Palm Springs Walk of Stars. Once again, please welcome directors Janie Hughes and Susan Stafford.
We'll read it together. Okay, so the bookends, Alfred, will be giving you your replica that is a present from the board, and all of the people that have wonderful stars on our Walk of Fame get to have one of these. And since you're number 325, you can take this and hang it in the bedroom, in your office, the bathroom, but you must keep it somewhere visible, okay?
For his lifetime achievement and contribution to the world, Providence of Palm Springs, you, Sir Alfred J. DiMora, dedicated on this day, November the 15th, I think it's 2009, and it's at 538 North Palm Canyon Drive, right here in Palm Springs, California. Really, this is really something. You can't walk around with that star, but you can with this one. Okay.
Let's go, honey. Get up here. Okay, the bookends. Here we go.
Are you crying at Paisano? Isn't it beautiful?
Thank you, Janie Hughes and Susan Stafford. I'd like to take just a moment to recognize and introduce our board of directors. If they would please stand. Our board has been together for many years, and they vote on every single star. Mr. Hal Sloan, who is a photographer extraordinaire, and a great new book out called Mostly Off Guard.
Great book.
Mr. John Bolivar, a musician extraordinaire. Our accountant and former accountant with Columbia Pictures, Mr. Lou De Silva. Alan Bregman, director of promotion for Nederlander Organization and Caesar's Palace for many years. Mr. Herb Gronauer, who has represented everyone in the business from Bob Hope to Mickey Rooney to the Diamonds. Mr. Herb Gronauer is an agent. And you've already met Janie Hughes, Susan Stafford, and Mr. Bill Beck. Have I missed anyone?
Miss Marilyn Ball.
Miss Marilyn Ball. Marilyn is the mother of Lindsay Wagner. She's a producer and has many exciting projects. Miss Marilyn Ball. Mr. Charles Dunn. Charles Dunn. He has your family tree store downtown Palm Springs. Mr. Charles Dunn. And at this time, it's time to hear from the man of the hour. Please welcome Sir Alfred J. DiMora.
Standing ovation. You know, it's hard to sit up here and with all these people up here and just think where I came from and where I am today. And if you were to ask me when I was a young boy, would I be here getting a star, I'd have to tell you you'd be crazy. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you coming today. Larry, Bo, George, especially you, George, and Ernest Boardnine. You know, we have people here from Canada, all over the place. And Dr. Larry and Dr. Shivango is with Dr. Larry. But I have to tell you that this is a very humbling experience for me, and I'm very, very happy to be in this ground and not with Buck's ground at the moment. And I'm a little stunned for words over here. I'm just very humbled by all this, and I really appreciate the city coming to me and asking me to be part of this. We did a little thing last night for the Desert Arc, and I thought it was a terrific success. Some of the people from Desert Arc are here, and we hope to do this again next year. We had a lot of stars show up for us. It was an incredible evening last night, but for today, you know, Susan Stanford and I go back so far, it's crazy, and Danny Enright was an unbelievable gentleman to me, and he actually helped me more than most people know. My brother Frank, you know, he hit some things that really hit home with me. My father's no longer with us. My mother couldn't be here because she's not doing very well. And it's just an incredible... I know my father's looking down at this saying, you know, you did it again. And Gary's back there. My cousin came in from New York. I've had a lot of people here, but, you know, I couldn't do all this without my wife, Yvonne. Yvonne puts up with so much of my crap that's in my life. I'm out trying to help the world, she says, and I'm never home. So, and that's probably a true statement, but I think everyone got to see some of our cars. We're going to end up at the Cafe 285, which is right up the street at the Hyatt. Everyone here is welcome to come. We do have some hors d'oeuvres and stuff laid out, and we have all these gentlemen, I believe, are going to come along with us, Ernie and Bo, and just everybody's coming, Lee Steinberg and Larry. You know, we just want to have a real nice time, and again, I'm really a loss for words here, and it's not too many times that, you know, people call you a genius and all that neat stuff. I appreciate everyone saying that, and Ernie, God bless his heart, 92 years old. Thank you, Ernie, for coming. And Bo was right. You know, Bo's straightened my wife out here about every 6 months. Lee and I have worked together, and Lee's taught me a little bit in the sports business. Taught me not to be in the sports business. Larry and I go back sometime, and Larry taught me not to be in the movie business. And Eric Estrada, hey, I had the part, but I gave it to him. And George, that car is soon to come out. It's been a long project. The Natalia is for those that don't know, is a $2 million car. It wasn't so much the car that I was chasing, was the technology, and some of the people hit it on the head here. They really caught on what I'm doing here. building the next generation technologies that I believe that will change the way cars are built, bring back the American pride, which we're in seriously need of, and I'm just really thrilled to be part of that, and I have a lot of support from Detroit around the country, a lot of people supporting me in it, and it's quite a long project. It's a 5-year project. We're about 3.5 years into it. Some of the other projects that we're doing is we're building motorcycles. As you can see, we have a bunch of motorcycles around here. And,
Can I take this home?
yeah, there you go. It's only 110,000. It's yours. But there, seriously, there's a couple other things out there too. Is that I have been raising money for the Marines. Thank you. I think that I did such a great job. I came home one day and I said, Josh, man, we just raised some money again for the Marines. And he said, you know what? I'm going to be a Marine. And Josh is a stepson to me, and we also have Chanel, beautiful Chanel over here, our little singer. And, Josh is over in Afghanistan. He was deployed about 3 weeks now. I guess time goes on a little bit. And he's been trying to write us, and I want to wish him a real safe home. There's a couple other people here that actually grew up with me. Stephen, please stand up. Stephen was with me since he was 9 years old. I finally threw him out when he was 25. But congratulations, Stephen, on your new marriage coming on. You might know his dad by Steve Yeager, that played for the Dodgers for quite so many years. So that's Stephen Jr. over there. And Buck, I don't know what to say about Buck over there. Buck and I, we traveled Paris. We traveled all over the place, and there was a little bit of that story Buck didn't tell you that I have to tell you. Is after we picked up the car from the Cowboys, going through the field, my head almost broke my neck. We're on our way back driving this car that Al Unser put the engine in for us. And we were blasting right along, and Buck says, yeah, this thing goes 100 miles an hour. Let's go 120. Anyways, we started sailing along. We seen California, we're in Arizona, and bam, hear a siren behind us. Buck says, don't worry, I'll take care of this. No problem. Takes out his wallet. He says, I got my coroner's badge. I started laughing and said, okay, go for it, Buck. I have to tell you, I said to Buck, I can't remember if we bet on it or not, but I wanted to. The police officer, I was standing by the side of the car, and a police officer came over and said, looked at Buck's license, looked at Buck and said, no coroner I know can afford this car, and started writing the ticket. So, again, Buck, thanks for coming. Buck brought the Duesenberg, in case anyone sees this. This is a true Duesenberg over here. Buck's pride and joy is really cars. He's really not a mortician as much as he is a car guy, I got to tell you. The man has over 200 vehicles. At last count, I don't know, he keeps getting buildings all over the place. And he's an amazing man. George has so many amazing cars. I know this is about me, but I have to tell you that, George has more chutzpah than I know anybody. I can't keep up with this guy. He's running around like I've never seen in my entire life. Yeah, I'm Italian. Hey, forget about it. I'm Italian. Already? Come on, tell him. I'm Italian, right? But I have to tell you, George, George has built some of the most amazing cars. And, George, we're glad you brought the green car out today. And thanks for coming out, George. And Larry and I went back, and Larry taught me the film business. He really did. We spent a year together, I think. Was it 91, Larry, I think? And Larry and I had some really terrific experiences together. We flew together. We didn't crash, but only Buck and I. So, I've been through some really amazing things. There's a lot of employees here that I really like to thank. We've got Lenny out there. Bob Bliss is my personal assistant. I don't know where Bob is, but Bob does everything for me. And God bless Bob. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, retired, and wherever Bob is, let's give Bob a hand. There he is. Right there. This guy works endlessly for me, and we need 100 of him. So I'm not going to continue on any further with this, but I have to tell you that come join us at 285. Buck has got the, he's going to take Ernie and Bo on over there, and please enjoy us, and thank you again for, I want to thank the city, especially all you people behind me for this star. And these people are super, and they make this city everything that this city is. And believe me, this city is unbelievable, and what better place, what a beautiful day, and thank you very much. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Alfred DiMora, for allowing us, the Palm Springs Walk of Stars, to honor you today. Thanks to all of our speakers, our dignitaries for the proclamations, our entire board of directors, and most of all to each and every one of you for being here today. Now, the reason that we're all here is for the unveiling of the 325th star on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars. Alfred, if you and Yvonne would join me, please, in front of the podium. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
See, she's already starting to walk.